And speaking of polls, there's a new one about Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, a Hill Harris X poll finding that a majority of voters think he should resign. Now, it's clear the American people are unhappy with Fauci for many reasons, and thankfully, there are some out there searching for answers and searching for truth, one of them being the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch. Their latest move is filing a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services on behalf of OpenTheBooks.com. And they're seeking Fauci's financial disclosure records and royalties paid to NIH employees. Join me now with more, President of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton. Tom, it's great to see you. Tom,
good to be with you.
Thank you. A lot to chew on here with my introduction. First, I guess I'll let you react to the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and her COVID-19 diagnosis. Again, she is a vaccinated person who has been diagnosed with COVID-19. It seems to be happening a lot with these high-profile people. So it does raise some eyebrows. And so, again, it goes to the whole point is that even if you're vaccinated, you can still contract and spread the virus.
Yeah, to me, that significantly undermines the basis for the good faith basis for vaccine mandates, which seem to me more an abuse of power than anything else. And it's being announced today. I don't know if you've seen the news yet, Stephanie, that we can expect the official rule from the Biden administration on the vaccine mandate that applies to private employers. There's already one being abused and used to target the military, federal employees and government contractors. Now they want to expand it to the private sector. And I believe this mandate is already interfering with our economy, our public safety, and our national security. And Jen Psaki, I hope she does well. I hope she gets better soon. But the idea that vaccines prevent the spread of coronavirus seems to me necessary in order to at least have a credible argument in favor of a mandate. And obviously that isn't the case. The science shows that. They wouldn't be telling us all to wear masks if the vaccine was effective in terms of curtailing the spread of coronavirus in a way that would justify the extraordinary imposition on our liberties to require Americans to get it in order to earn a living or gain access to basic public services and food.
Yeah. And again, not an anti-vaxxer. People should talk to doctors, get the vaccine if they want it. But you're highlighting the point is these vaccine mandates. I would argue that they're totally unconstitutional. I think it's a violation of our human rights. People shouldn't have to be making decisions between getting the jab or losing their livelihood and their jobs, which is what we're seeing, these mass firings. And yeah, I think that there are going to be so many more lawsuits to come because of it, especially those businesses and corporations that went ahead and got ahead of themselves without even the OSHA rules coming down and implementing and enforcing this on their workforce. So we'll see about that. And then I want to circle back to Biden. So they, continue to push for masks, and he'll wear a mask during weird times. For example, I remember one time he was Skyping in with world leaders, and he was by himself in a room in a mask on the computer, the only one wearing a mask in this the Skype conference call. He'll wear them outdoors alone. And then when he's at an event where there's a bunch of people, he's not wearing a mask. And then he coughs in his hand and runs around and starts shaking people's hands. It's a little confusing, isn't it? And it's also very gross. Who does that? Even before COVID, that was not acceptable.
Well, I mean, the hilarity of it is, just that hilarious. The more serious aspect of it is it shows you that the mask mandates and the mask propaganda we've been getting, it's political. I mean, all of this is understood because it's otherwise crazy. How can you understand anything scientifically given the way it's been implemented? Well, it's easy to understand if you realize it's a political decision in order to, get people used to being told what to do, or otherwise condition them to more government abuse and mandates like the vaccine mandate. But I'm still waiting for that random placebo-controlled study, the randomized study with placebos that masks work to curtail coronavirus spread. It's not out there, and instead, it's just they hope it works. And if people want to wear masks individually, that's fine. But the idea still that school children are being required to wear masks across the country to me is such a wild abuse. It's not scientific. And as we see with the Biden games, it's just political theater.
Yeah, it is political theater. And as we pointed out, Biden is totally inconsistent when it comes to mask wearing. And I'm sure you saw the other viral video. And he's kind of a close talker. He's like in some woman's face and the droplets come out of his mouth and hit her in the face. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can do a quick Google search. Now, I want to give you a chance to talk about this lawsuit. I think it's really important. So Judicial Watch is suing on behalf of OpenTheBooks.com to look into Dr. Fauci's financial disclosure records and some royalties paid to NIH employees. What are you expecting to find out, and what initiated this lawsuit?
Our client Open the Books has been asking for the documents. These aren't state secrets. This is basic financial information that senior government officials are required to file and that the American people ought to have access to. There have been questions about patents and consulting fees and things like that. So how do you answer questions like that? I don't know, by getting the documents. I'm old-fashioned in that regard. What's being reported? And the fact that we have to sue for this basic employment and financial conflict information, it really is troubling. And Dr. Fauci is, in my view, one of the most powerful officials in federal government in recent American history. And, not just this lawsuit, but other lawsuits we've had to go to federal court to get basic information about what he knew and when. And in this case, basic financial information, given concerns people have about conflicts of interest and decision making by NIH and his agency, which is his sub-agency, which is part of NIH.
Well, a lot of us are concerned because we've seen Dr. Fauci flip-flop on a lot of the important issues, and there's record of it. He's also been caught lying about gain-of-function research and whether or not our taxpayer dollars went to it. Well, we found out, yeah, NIH was paying for it. Gain-of-function research, very dangerous. He lied about it or didn't know about it. That's a problem. So the people in charge need to know what's going on. And also, I thought it was a huge red flag, the fact that he just has no curiosity where COVID-19 started, the origins of COVID-19. It's like he does not want to address that, and I find that to be a big problem. So I'm glad that you guys are digging into it and looking for answers, because we have a lot of questions. Well, Tom, we're going to leave it here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Steph.